It is Monday. It is 5 Eastern. It is 4 Central. That's why we're trying to make this a staple in your life. So for anybody who's coming back week after week, we love you. Sport in order, ready to rock and roll. A newbie today, straight out of NBC Sports Chicago, senior producer, White Sox content star on the White Sox Talk podcast alongside his guys, including Chuck Garfien. Ryan McGuffey making his debut. Welcome, Mr. Guff.
Happy to be here. Let's go.
Let's go indeed. And Adam Weinrib, our superstar out of the East Coast, giving you the biz with everything, including the Yanks Go Yard podcast. Adam always ready to play with the intimidating look on his face and always the unique perspective. Adam, good afternoon.
Thanks, Mark. Shout out to everybody who decided the Yankees at their historic worst was a good time to book me to come back on the show.
Right here. Hey, listen, I highs and lows. Let's ride the roller coaster together. That's what life is all about. Keep moving forward. And speaking of that, we'll go into kind of a roller coaster guy as we start here with the NFL. We got a ton of baseball for you, and we'll stop by the NBA as well. 7 questions, 30 seconds on the clock. First to 4, we'll take home sport and order today. And yes, we do start in the NFL. And class act, solid career. Alex Smith retiring. His legacy, overcoming one of the worst injuries in NFL history. Also being a great leader, helped Patrick Mahomes come along amongst a bunch of quarterbacks. I want you to actually give me your best just on the field comp for a quarterback who had that Alex Smith playing style, his level of effectiveness, his career. Give me a good Smith comp. Ryan McGuffey, first time up, you get to go first.
By the way, I like the New York versus Chicago tee it up rookie style for me. But I took this question as a current player on the field that has an Alex Smith comp. Is that correct?
Sure.
Because if so, my pick is Ryan Tannehill. The stats are almost mirror images of each other, and their careers are too. A lot of disappointment in Miami for Ryan Tannehill, and you could say the same for a former number 1 overall pick in Alex Smith in San Francisco. He goes to Kansas City. Look what happens. Figures it out. Throws 102 touchdowns and only 33 picks. Leads the team to the playoffs. Kind of hands the torch over to Patrick Mahomes. And then look at Tannehill. Everyone kind of just wrote him off and forgot about him. And when the Titans traded for him, it was like, okay, no big deal. And the Titans now are one of the best teams in the AFC, largely in part to Ryan Tannehill, who has gone there. Everything is improved. His touchdown interceptions ratio has improved. His quarterback rating is improved. And if you look at his numbers, I mean, literally almost mirror images when you look at the career throwing and running the football, because I think Alex Smith finished somewhere around the 2,600 yards rushing mark.
Going with the current Tannehill, you say Ryan Tannehill. The Mitch Trubisky faithful out there is hoping for him. Adam Weinrib, what do you got?
First off, Alex Smith was an inspiration, and there is nothing wrong with the career he put up. While you would rather have Aaron Rodgers leading your team, Smith's career is basically the platonic ideal of a highly drafted quarterback. Don't compare the two. He will take you to the playoffs, and I wish he'd played in Washington's playoff game this winter. With an elite defense, he could have won a Super Bowl. Maybe, actually. His career to me looks a lot like Kerry Collins, and coincidentally, they're the only 2 men in the Super Bowl era to win their division with 3 different franchises. Ooh. Smith held onto the ball a little bit longer and a little bit better than Collins, though. More like a Jeff Garcia with Kerry Collins' resilience.
So that's an impressive little nugget that Weinrib comes up with out of nowhere. What did you just say? 3 what? 3 division championships with 3 division teams? That's impressive. And for that level of research, I love Guff's passion on the Tannehill comp, but for that level of deep dive,
we're giving Smith the division. He earned that, huh? Okay.
Well, but that's a fair take right there too. But and maybe a little bit too much credit, but I like how Weinrib just teed that up there. So, Adam, you're off and rolling here. And I like the fact that you're fighting back here, too, Gup. Let's have a very spirited, argumentative. Carman doesn't know what he's doing as a judge and jury. Sport and order, those are the best sport and orders. 1-0, Adam Weinrib. 30 seconds on the clock for question 2. And, yes, Adam, we are going to your Yankees. They're 5-10. No one's hitting. Garrett Cole is your only starter who's off to a relatively decent start, even though he's getting booed off the mound. It's tough in New York. We know this. Question is simple here for those 5-10 Yanks. We got a blip in the road here, start of the season. They're going to be back to the top of the division in no time. Or is this team actually going to disappoint and miss the playoffs? Adam.
Okay, I know I'm actively sacrificing a point here because you all want me to say this is no big deal, but There is nothing about this roster construction that makes me think they're close to turning it around. It's not just 15 games when the team is 30-36 since starting 2020 at 8-1. The team is 13-22 on the road this season and last. The team has lost 7 straight series against the Tampa Bay Rays. They are the statistical worst fastball hitting team in Major League Baseball with the worst team OPS. Yermin Mercedes pitched for the White Sox today, and I'd rather watch that than Corey Kluber. There is something rotten in the state of Denmark, and I've started stress eating my own cuticles. The worst part is the team is currently healthy, minus Luke Voigt. That won't last. The roster isn't better than Toronto's. It's working together worse than Boston's. Tampa has the head-to-head mental and physical advantage. Got to tip my cap and call Tyler Glasnow my daddy.
That one could have gone on for a long time. As Weinrib very,
Adam, man. It is 15 games, dude. You're the Yankees, all right? You are the elitist, man. As a guy who watches the White Sox every day and sits here and trying to talk fans from the White Sox that have expectations for the first time in 15 years, you're the Yankees. You have something that the White Sox don't, and that's a pocketbook that's endless, that's full of money. So whatever problems that you have right now, and yes, they seem endless, especially in the rotation and offensively. I mean, this slash line, 210, 296, 346, please tell me that that's going to realistically be there 81 games, 120 games, 162 games from now. Because if it is, then I'll jump in the Hudson myself, because there's absolutely no damn way that the New York Yankees are going to have that slash line and aren't going to be able to replace the problems that Corey Kluber has.
All right, we got it. Weinrib thinks they're done. Guff thinks they're probably going to win the damn World Series. I like to live in fear of the Yankees winning the World Series. And Adam, you're right. We wanted you to say this is no big deal and just puff out the chest. You didn't do it. You went full panic. And maybe you'll be right, but I'm guessing you're going to be wrong. And so let's stick with Guff getting on the board here. 1-1. We got to get to at least, I don't know, the All-Star break for some real Yankee panic. I did like that you brought back in 2019 or 2020, but that did seem like perhaps a drop of a Yankee panic stretch. Let's go to Shane Bieber, who is putting up enormous numbers. He's the first player in baseball history to start the season with 10-plus strikeouts. Look at him, absolutely dominating. 4 games in, 10 each. That's hasn't been done since they moved the mound back to its current distance, which was in 1893, a couple of years before I was born. Simple question with all the velocity out there. Does baseball need to move the mound back? Bieber's domination and throwing everybody else out there too. Guff.
I know this is Theo Epstein's big, this is one of his, it's because it's coming from Theo. It's probably actually going to live longer than it should. It's idiotic. No, we shouldn't mess with the mound and moving things back. I know pace of play is an issue, and there's a lot of problems with baseball, especially for kids who are 15 and under, my son included, who won't watch a baseball game with me. But why punish Shane Bieber? Why punish the guys with high velo? Because guys are striking out at an alarming rate. There's problems that are endless here. You're bringing up guys who have never. Andrew Vaughn is on the White Sox right now. He's never been above high A. You want to know why he strikes out? It's not because Shane Bieber's throwing 101 miles an hour, striking out 10-plus batters a game every start. It's because he doesn't have the experience, and they're buying in, and he costs less.
All right. Leave it right there. Adam, you want to be more aggressive, or are you keeping the mound in its current place?
I think we do have a problem here. We're in a precarious position, but there's been a heightened level of pitching injuries already the past few years thanks to leveled up stuff. I don't want to know about any extra forearm strain thanks to moving the mound back. Are these pitchers finely tuned machines? Why are we going to mess with like 20 years of training by suddenly changing the percentages of the distance? We'll know more when the Atlantic League season is up, of course, where they are moving the mound back to test it out. But why can't we just lower the mound if we're worried about it being the year of the pitcher and pitchers are that dominant? That's been done. I wouldn't be against doing that again. But I don't think moving the mound back is going to change hitters' emphasis on the 3 true outcomes anyway.
This is a tough one. Look, the velo's killing a lot of people's watching the game. So you're both you both want to leave it there, Adam. You're opening up to moving the mound down. We'll see what happens with where they're experimenting. At the end of the day, I guess I am with Weinrib slightly more because he did acknowledge that there is a problem. Guff is like looking at his kid as the kid's the problem, that he doesn't want to watch baseball. Baseball's got to do something. Something's got to happen here. They're too good. Michael Kopech is too dominant. It's not just Shane Bieber.
Why is that Michael's problem? Why is that?
It's not.
Right.
It's not. But like it's the same thing in the NBA. It's not Steph Curry's problem, but we need to back the 3-point line up because it's just they're too good at their job. 2-1 Weinrib. We will discuss after the show on this one. Going to question 4, and what a weekend, by the way, for all my baseball has trouble, and we've got one more on that down the line, but it was exciting. The Dodgers and the Padres, a little bit of everything, diving catches by Mookie Betts to end ball games, going nuts in the middle of April like it's October. That was awesome. Players calling it a playoff atmosphere. Did we learn anything from this April series? Perhaps the 2 best teams in the National League. Anything to gain from this in a series that went to the Dodgers 2 out of 3, Adam?
Yeah, I think we learned what we expected to, that these are the 2 best rosters in baseball, and the Dodgers are both a little better and a little more battle-tested. San Diego spent the entire weekend trying to stir up trouble from the 10th inning of that first game to Jorge Mateo drawing a catcher's interference on Clayton Kershaw, and the Dodgers never fell for it. Only Trevor Bauer let the Padres get in his head all weekend long, which was the most expected thing of all time. I also learned what we already knew, that the Dodgers needed Mookie Betts. His addition was not a luxury. They actually needed him to get over the hump and stay competitive. Luckily, the rivalry is resuming in just 3 days at Dodger Stadium. So I'm joining the happy masses that we get a second look already.
A lot of early season back and forth series. Ryan.
Yeah, I'm going to play this, Adam, into the Yankees. When you're the Dodgers, you go out there and get the best players. You want the best 9 players playing every day. And when Mookie Betts made that catch the other night, how do you not get up out of your seat and love it? That's what sports are all about. Great players making great plays on the biggest stages. To me, all I did was learn kind of what Adam's point was about the best rosters, but it's, to me, 2 teams embracing each other's expectations. I thought the Dodgers went into the series realizing that the San Diego Padres are pretty damn good, and they're coming for what they have, and that they weren't about ready to hand that baton over. And the Padres played like they were trying to go get what the Dodgers already have. And that were 2 teams all the way until Sunday's game went final that proved that every step of the way, Friday through Sunday, that they were it was almost like its own little mini World Series for the West Coast. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that. And bring it on. I hope baseball's watching from coast to coast.
I really like that, actually, that we learned that the Dodgers actually do respect San Diego. Like they could have come into it and been like, no big deal. You guys went out and had a really aggressive offseason, but we're still the damn Dodgers, and we still have Mookie Betts in center field and everything else that we got from Clayton Kershaw on. But we want to make a statement here. So I hadn't thought of it that way. Guff, you're opened my eyes. So we're back tied up here at 2 apiece. The Dodgers are actually fearful of the Pods. Let's go to the NBA. And my guy, Zion Williamson, who I built a video on back in the day, which was quite the moment in time, the perfect basketball player. And now Zion making news that he loves playing at Madison Square Garden. Nobody seems to stay with the Pelicans for life. See Anthony Davis. Knicks fans super excited that Zion may choose New York someday. But would he do such a thing? The Knicks are actually back to being a playoff team. My guy Derrick Rose having a hell of a season. Are the Knicks, is the franchise back as an attractive place to play? Are they making a comeback, Guff?
I think it's, culture is an important word in sports these days, and young guys seem to follow that more than anything. Look, Zion is a brand. He cares about 2 things: himself on the court and then his brand off the court. New York is what? A destination for a brand. LA has LeBron, and LeBron isn't leaving LA. He's already thought about his brand post-playing career. The Knicks are a perfect spot for Zion Williamson. Are they back? TBD. But is the direction and the future of the Knicks back? I think so. Adam can probably tell us that. Tom Thibodeau, we know what Tibbs is here in Chicago. The one that got away. He should have never gotten away. He changed the culture of the Bulls, and then it went back to being a mess. He's changed the culture of the Knicks. Will they allow that to go back to being a mess? That's on James Dolan. Yes, Zion Williamson. All he did was tease. He knows exactly what he's doing. Whether he goes to the Knicks.
What do you think there, Mr. New Yorker? Are the Knicks back to being attractive?
The Knicks are so back, and you know how I know that? It's because the media ran with this Zion narrative instead of laughing at the Knicks like they did when they had KD and Kyrie on the back cover of the Post. Everyone was like doing the cat math and getting out their 2023 calendars. Like they treated it like it was real. Of course, the problem here is that star chasing is antithetical to everything that's made the Knicks so great and wholesome to root for during this amazing season. No Knicks fan wants to think about upgrading from Julius Randle or figuring out RJ Barrett trade packages. They just want to soak in surpassing the Vegas over-under already without succumbing to the disease of more. The Zion chatter will not be the last time someone forecasts a superstar's arrival, and as much sense as it makes, we're getting a little scared.
Wow, just back into reality of, hey, let's just enjoy ourselves some Julius Randle. Let's lean into the fact that we're going to be in the playoffs and actually might have a shot in the first round. Let's forget about the 7-8 playoff game and the fact that we might end up back out of the playoffs. All right. I guess I'm leaning more towards Guff here on the branding aspect, and here's a Zion who, well, maybe you don't even need that, but I guess maybe he's looking at where can I most have my fun and also live the dream as far as my complete domination of off the court, and New York being the place. I guess the Knicks are perhaps back, although I'm still struggling to believe that players are ready to go play for Tibbs. As much as I love Tibbs and what he brings, I think Tibbs rises people up when they and create, like Julius Randle having his best year of his life. I'll stop talking about Tom Thibodeau. I love you, Tom Thibodeau. You're the man. Let's go to the NBA MVP race, and the contenders have been falling by the wayside. LeBron had it, and then he got hurt. James Harden was racing up, and then Harden has been out. Joel Embiid had it at one point, lost it, but now Embiid back on the court. And Nikola Jokic has been here the whole time, but the Sixers might end up having the best record in the Eastern Conference. Jokic not on as talented a Denver team. And now, of course, Jamal Murray out. Give me your pick for NBA MVP, considering everything that has happened this year, Adam.
Yeah, Bill Simmons is so mad he doesn't get to argue with the people in his head anymore about the LeBron narrative thing now that it's just not happening. Jokic doesn't have a running mate anymore, but I think that works against him weirdly because the Nuggets are going to be less relevant down the stretch. Everyone always wants to see someone put the team on their back to prove they're the real MVP, and then they're like, sorry, Mike Trout, Miguel Cabrera had the Triple Crown. You understand. For me, it's Embiid as long as he stays healthy for the remainder of the season, considering he currently owns the narrative, top seed status, and the Sixers are 30-8 when he plays and 9-9 without him. Of course, Julius Randle is the real most valuable player in the NBA.
I like you underlining your guy, and that record is impressive. Guff, what do you got?
I might be sacrificing the point here, but I do ride the train that no Jamal Murray really hurts Jokic. I will say that Jokic has probably been the most impressive player, if there was an award for that, start to finish. I mean, the guy went out at the start of the season, was handing away free money to those who were playing that triple-double prop bet every night. But anyway, Joel Embiid, a top seed does matter. You know, top dog status does matter. And if the Knicks finish somewhere 3, 4, or 5, or the Nuggets finish somewhere in the 3, 4, 5 range, does that really matter in the West? Probably not nearly as much as the top seed in the East. The Sixers are always going to have a spotlight that's a little brighter because it's Philadelphia versus Denver as well. Denver just not that magnet for the country to see, but Jokic should be a guy that people love. Most impressive, yes. MVP, that's going to Embiid.
Yeah, I'm with you both at Embiid if he stays healthy, which Adam underlined, and also look at what the Sixers have done with him on the court, and look at what they've done off the court. So for those 2 points and the fact that it makes it a lot more fun for question 7, but Adam, you get the point there. We go 3-3, and it's all on the line. And this one is an off-the-board finish. So Anthony Rizzo, the Cubs, was mic'd up last night. You got his interaction with the Braves, Freddie Freeman. It's a Sunday night blowout. Nobody cares about the game. Nobody would have thought about the game, but it made a lot of news because we heard Rizzo's screaming at Freeman, the mic'd up thing working. And baseball, I think we can all agree, needs a little bit of something, less 5-hour games like the Dodgers and Padres played over the weekend. Give me your out-of-the-box, revolutionary, dynamic, something idea. It doesn't have to be that crazy, but something that makes sense, that will make baseball more popular going forward, perhaps keep up to some level of pace with basketball and the NFL. Guff, you're up.
All right, so you might not like it, but I really don't care because some of these rules that they're trying a little bit too hard, like trying to move the mound back. So 3-hour time limits. That's what we have. We get first pitch is 7:05, last pitch is 10:05, which means Little League rules. If the last inning starts, if the 7th inning is the last inning because you've gone too heavy in the first 2 hours and 45 minutes, so be it. You better be planning your bullpen that way because now your 9-inning game just went to the 7-inning game. Every game starts as a 9-inning game, but the duration of the first inning, like in today's White Sox-Red Sox game, 7 runs were scored. Guess what's going to happen? Not a 9-inning game. And you have to start lining up your pen that way. That to me makes everything more exciting because you walked in thinking you're seeing 9. You don't know if you're getting 6 Rain delays don't count. Those can just be washed. But I think then you're talking about high intensity, high impact, every pitch, every run, every at bat matters, 3-hour times, and advertisers know exactly what they're buying. And if you want to buy in the back end of the game at that time spot, that costs more money, just like the Super Bowl.
That's a great one. Love it. Can you top that, Adam?
Yeah, let's get rid of the lights too. As soon as it gets dark, game gets bagged. I just wanted to detail a few things that maybe have gone by the wayside. You're right in that baseball needs to create some sort of Super Bowl atmosphere. And the way we do that is not by trying to change the regular season to appeal to people who aren't going to enjoy it anyway. Let's optimize the playoffs. I'm not talking about changing the rules and letting in more teams and all that nonsense. As of now, what made baseball great in the last era of great baseball, the Yankees and Red Sox clashing in 7-game championship series, can't happen. The Dodgers and Padres can't meet in a CS. They can only meet in a 5-game division series. Change the weird divisional rules. Make sure they can play in 7-game series with a World Series berth on the line for these divisional rivals, and give us one World Series day game. That's all I ask.
Okay. Wow. I would love a World Series day game. I'd love a day game in every series. Yeah, that takes me back to 11-year-old Carman when I was watching Cubs and Padres and realized that life was not going to be fair. This was a very, very solid, off the board, stunning answer by who I thought was going to go straight down the middle. But Guff going for a 3-hour time limit, run in, run out, so many strategic moves would be called into action there. I don't know. You didn't tee up what you want for if it is a tie game, but I'm guessing it's something that will keep it moving right along. I love it. You come there at 7, you're leaving at 10, and let's move. That is something that I think will never happen, but I really like baseball's off the board suggestion by Guff here. And Adam, I want what you said for the playoffs to be the case too. The two best teams should absolutely be set up to play a 7-game series. That makes a ton of sense. I hope Major League Baseball, Theo, I know you love Sport in Order, so you're watching today. But Ryan McGuffey, in your first appearance on Sport in Order, you're going to get the dub for that time limit baseball game. I think everybody would sign up for. Congratulations.
I got to get that to Theo.
Theo's watching, Theo's listening. Theo's probably already thought of this. He's probably like 5 steps down the road on it. Adam, how much do you hate the time limit and want to just fight Guff for that answer that makes absolutely no sense to you? I feel like you want to, this is off the board, not fair.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking for a pen. Guff, what's your address? No reason.
Yeah, asking for a friend, huh?
Yeah. No, I mean, look,
debate too? Come on.
This was the last 2 weeks of Yankees baseball. It's a tight one. One of us had to blink, and it was obviously me. I blinked. So it's what it is.
And you, like the Yankees, will continue to move forward, and championships are right around the corner. Guff, any parting thoughts here as you walk out of here with a new look for baseball and everything else?
Yeah, maybe Adam and I could have a side bet off camera about whose disappointing team is going to actually finish first.
Ooh, White Sox and Yankees would be fun in the playoffs down the line. Never know. We could see it. Thank you so much for joining Adam and Ryan, and for you for watching, and everybody who helped out today. Sport in Order, Mondays, 5 Eastern, 4 Central, with you every week. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.